What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Roxette. And we're returning to the 1999 album Have a Nice Day. And the next track is written alphanumerically 727, with both sevens being written as a numeral, and then 20 with no spaces in between written as a word. So my brain goes to plane sizes. I know 747 is perhaps the most historically famous style of jumbo jet, but I do think, or at least am hypothesizing, that a 727 is also a type of jet. Now maybe it could be July 27th, although to be fair, I know in Europe the month is typically listed after the day, whereas here in the States we list the month first and then the day numbers. So yeah, I don't really know what to make of the title. It could just be sort of a phonetic and rhyming lyrical phrase that provides some sort of rhythmic purpose in, or serves a rhythmic purpose in the track. But yeah, on the surface of it, it's a bit opaque. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Roxette. The tune is 727, and it's from their 1999 album Have a Nice Day. Acid. We have legit acid.
727 is ready to move. You know she packed her bags with nothing left to prove. I thought I didn't care, now I'm falling through, wouldn't you?
Ooh, some dissonance.
Oh, I've been wishing all night I was on that flight. Swallowing the tears I cry. I hear myself swallowing the tears I cry. 727 is up in the air. You know I feel her hands on me everywhere. I thought I didn't care, now I'm saying a prayer. Hey mister, do you know the way to salvation's way?
Growling lower end.
727 is close to the sky. It carries the world between hello and goodbye. Like the Monday we met that disappeared in a breath. Like the Sunday she left, forever smelling of death. Another jetpack night, another drink to go. Oh, I'll be diving my head in the pure white snow. You better take care of this ghostly friend. Tell me, will I ever see her again? Tell me, will I ever see her again? Tell me, will I ever see her again? Tell me, will I ever see her again?
I'm stunned. Sing it, pair.
727 is close to the sky. 727 is close to the sky.
I'm predicting that
727 is close to the sky.
I knew it wouldn't fade out. That's brilliant. Again, I heard from the very beginning that this album is not every roxer's cup of tea, and given how some of the stylings, including in this track, are very distinct from their earliest sound, I get that, and I follow some bands that over time maybe took steps in different directions that at least at first I wasn't immediately fond of. Although, fair to say, over time, some of those experiences and attitudes about an evolving catalog have softened or even swung around the other way, where it's like, you know what, I do like this album, even though at the time I thought it was a step in the wrong direction. So I get how the opinions about a band's evolution can be divergent or even polarizing or so on, but I do remember a couple folks saying they didn't really like the way they were dipping heavily into the electronic / dance direction. But as someone who listens to a lot of trance and techno going back to the 90s, right up into the present, I think this is great sonically. I love the acidic, like there really is an acid component, very bubbly and gurgly, and it sort of flared up right at the end there. I like the dissonant synths that came in at a couple points. One was very mechanical, kind of like a synth you would hear in techno, and then later there was almost like this horror movie dissonance, which had a, it was very brief, it was just a quick flare up, but that gave it a slightly different atmosphere than the earlier dissonant synth. I like the lower end, like I said, it was sort of growling. There was a type of synth that in the world of techno we might call like Hoover-like, because it has this sort of like mechanical intensity to it, which some people associate with Hoovers, or as we call them over here, vacuum cleaners. But yes, there was a number of different sonic sounds that I associate with trance and techno and like club or even underground dance floors, but we still have a lot of the, let's say, more traditional Roxette characteristics, including both Pear and Marie on vocals. Big shout out to Pear. Not only do I think the song has great songwriting, another component that I think goes back to the earliest days and is well represented here, but his vocals, a couple points near the end in particular, he really let it burn a little hotter, which I enjoy. Marie sounding great as well, no surprise there, although she does seem to serve in a supporting role on this one. But it was also the way the lyrics and vocals were distributed, in that it sounds like we're hearing both sides of the story. We're hearing about a guy who is feeling very distraught, talking about swallowing his tears, and he feels like this woman is going to get on a plane and leave his life. He doesn't know if he'll ever see her again, talking about sort of looking at the phone, wondering if she's going to call, which makes me think of, a watched phone is like a watched pot. It's not likely to ring or boil. And yes, it sounds like she's up in the cloud, like seeing the clouds pass by, so we hear a reference to her in the 727, which does very much seem to be about a plane. But then there was a point where it sounded like she was saying she wanted to be on the plane, so maybe it's still at the point where she's about to leave and she wants that and he knows that, but it hasn't actually happened yet, so I feel like it's maybe a snapshot in time. But just some of the lines about, her leaving, and there's this like feeling, I don't know if it was smell, but it was something about like a residue of death, like in relation to their relationship. And just some of the lines about the way he was feeling, which again, looking at the phone, wondering if she's going to call, which means you're sort of up in the air. So there was a lot of like really clever turns of phrase in the writing of the song. And then at the end we get a bit of acoustic guitar, which feels once again like a hallmark of their sound. Certainly some of their like slower, more ballad-like tunes, although even in some of their synth rock tracks we've gotten both electric and acoustic guitar. So composition-wise, I think it's great. Lyrically, I think it's fantastic. Vocally, I like both of their performances, and again, big shout out to Pear, like really standing out to me on this one. So to me, this is a great Roxette track, even if it is distinct in many ways from the 80s synth rock sound for which they perhaps became most internationally famous. So I'm enjoying it. Again, maybe not everyone's cup of tea. Maybe some people, I think there were a couple people who said, they don't dislike the whole album, but there's maybe only a couple tunes that they really focus on. But I'm enjoying the journey through it, and this one was a special one. So big shout out to Roxette, to all the Roxers out there, and of course, going all the way back to Yun providing me a lot of Roxette material, as well as to Jeebus and others who've, made sure that I know what order to go through and, which tracks on which releases and so on to keep an eye out for. So I really do appreciate all the support from the Rocksters along the way. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.